All right, cool. Oh man.
Oh,
Okay, there should be a new one that just popped up. There we go. I see you.
you hear me?
And I hear you. Interesting screen. There you are. All right, guys and girls, we're going to try this again. I see you guys popping in here. I know you had already hit that share button. I'm going to delete that other one real quick. Scott, talk to these people and hopefully they can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Glenn, we needed some IT people here this morning. You know it?
Buddy, I don't understand. It doesn't seem to matter. I'll be honest. I can test and retest. I mean, you and I were on here for what, 20 minutes before we even got to the show. Everything's working fine. But it's all right, man. That's just how it goes, right? It's all gravy. It's all gravy. So, Scott, start over. I think everyone can hear you now. I'm going to double check because I can't find any of these Facebook Lives. They're not showing up on my Facebook stream.
Yeah.
But Aaron Hunt.
Okay, awesome.
Hunt Brothers Pizza just said she can hear you. So
awesome.
Okay, so they can hear you. Start over.
So good morning, everybody. Rise and Grind Tribe. I'm really honored and privileged to be on here this morning with this, what I call a movement of people just being positive and lifting each other up. So I appreciate everybody taking time to tune in this morning. We're live from my CrossFit gym. You'll see the people back in the back. They just got through warming up. They're probably all looking at me like you said, this is only going to be about 10 minutes. But anyway, they know it never works out like it's supposed to. But they're warming up back there, and I come to CrossFit Monday through Friday at 5:30. One rule of CrossFit is you got to talk about CrossFit. The second rule of CrossFit, you're not supposed to be on your phone. So they all look at me like they could kill me half the time. And I said, wait a minute, my man's show's coming on. I got to wait for him to go live so I can listen on my beats while I work out. So hey, I'm glad everybody's on here, and I appreciate you tuning in.
Dude, Scott, tell me a little bit. Okay, you've got this like crazy intense morning routine, right? It's crazy intense, keeps you in line, keeps you balanced. Let's dive into that morning routine real quick for us. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I get up about 4:30, 4:45. Very similar to you and Andy Purcell. I do a power list of what I would like to accomplish that day, kind of get my mind right. And then my wife and I come down here at 5:30 in the morning to CrossFit, and we do that because it varies. We're working. You want to work on your health, and you also want to make sure you stay healthy with the stresses of the world. A couple of years ago, I kind of got I ballooned up to about 250 pounds. I was working for I was working at a different place, and I really just wasn't happy. And, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And my wife kind of sat me down and said, look, this isn't you. You need to make a change. So for the people out there that may be going through something right now, I want you to know that you can change. I'm nothing special. I'm just like you. And I decided to make a difference. And ever since then, I think I'm down to about 207, 208. I still like junk food, so if I would cut that out, I'd do me better. But when your wife sits you down and says, if you don't make changes, there could be another man walking your daughter down the aisle. That kind of wakes you up a little bit.
Wow, man. Yeah, I did not know that you were you were big.
Yes, sir. I was a tank. Yeah, this was about 2000. This was about 2008, 2009, and as you know, that time in the car industry wasn't the best either. We had a recession going on, and I was making some poor decisions. Then I joined the company. I'm privileged to say I'm managing partner, general manager of Valley Auto Group in Stanton, Virginia, which, my tribe, tunes in to Rise and Grind every morning. A lot of them, they'll tune in to Sales Hustlers with Sean Hayes. And so I'm managing partner and general manager of 5 franchises. And I have an awesome partner named Liza Borsius and Carter Myers Automotive Group. That I'm privileged to work with and work for. So my life's really, really changed, man. I live a blessed life. And I get to meet people like you, just continue to inspire and lift people up. So I don't think my life's ever been better, buddy.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. You sent over kind of like you're working out 11 times a week, right?
Yeah. Now imagine how fat I would be if I didn't do that, right? I mean, because because the car industry, sometimes it's 2 or 3 o'clock and you haven't eaten anything. I try to take protein bars and do the right thing, but sometimes you look around, you're like, man, it's 2 o'clock. I haven't ate. Where are you going? I'm going to Taco Bell. Well, tell them, pick me up something. So I'm trying to
Right.
do better. I'm trying to do better with that. But yeah, I work roughly about 60 hours a week, and I work out 11 times a day. Still have time for my awesome wife Kelly and my 2 beautiful kids. But it's a hustle, man. It's busy from the time I get up to the time I go home. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing.
Right. One of the things I noticed in your morning routine is it said from 7 to 8 o'clock, breakfast with the family, right?
Yeah,
From 7 to 8 a.m. every day, breakfast with the family. And I love
yeah.
that you had that plugged in there. How important is that aspect of your day?
Well, everything that I do, I do for my kids, and so does my wife. We want to give them opportunities that my parents gave us and her parents gave. My parents sacrificed a lot, and the one thing that drives me is a fear of failure, a fear of letting anybody down. And the worst people I would ever want to let down is my family, because they sacrificed so much for my brother and I. My brother's a doctor in Texas. He's successful, and you see where we're proudly from, McDowell County, West Virginia. And so when you had the burden of not wanting to let people down, my partners, the 170 employees, my family, man, that's a heavy burden, but it's a burden that I proudly carry. Because I know there's a lot of people depending on me and depending on me to make the right decisions. And but again, I live such a blessed life that I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Right, right. That's awesome, man. I'm really glad that you managed to keep that point. I know that a lot of people really struggle kind of in that area, especially in our industry. Our industry is not always known for being the best family type industry. So I love that that's important to you, and I'm positive that your employees, your staff, your work family, they have to see and respect the fact that that you do have these routines that include your family and that your family is important. I think that adds value to us as general managers, as guys that are leading the team. I think it's really important that we show everyone, by servant leadership, do as I do. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really important that we show that. And you have an incredible team over there at Valley, right? How many stores do you have altogether?
Yeah, Glenn, we have five dealerships, 8 franchises. We have about 170 associates. We're in Stanton, Virginia, which is a beautiful part of the southwestern part of Virginia. We're part of Carter Myers Automotive Group, which has been around since 1924. So it's been around for a while. Our employees own 26% of our company. We're called an ESOP. And our the Carter Myers Automotive Group, man, they take very good care of us and our employees. So it's a hustle every single day, as you know. We show up every single day and see how we can take care of our customers and take care of our employees. And if you take care of your employees, you take care of your customers, everything seems to work out. And I'm always learning. I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from Sean Hayes. I obviously I followed Grant Cardone for a while, and I just take pieces from each individual. Although technically I'm the managing partner of a dealership, but I learn from everybody. I learn from my staff. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I feel like that I have the employees and the customers' best interest in mind.
Man, it's refreshing. I could tell you it's really refreshing. From the moment you and I first met, we hit it off right out the gate. We did the Honda 20 group thing, which is awesome. And we just kind of hit it off right out the gate. And one thing I noticed is that your staff, man, your team, they love you. They
Yeah,
absolutely love you, man. They love you. They support you. They're always tossing out encouraging stuff and things like that. And that's really neat. And again, that's another rare thing to find in our industry. That's one of the things that we need to change more. How have you been able to build this relationship with your with your guys, and what has that meant to your dealership and your dealership success?
well, I have an open door policy. I think you have a couple different coaches. I feel like I'm a player's coach, and I played sports growing up. That's where I got my competitive edge. I was never really good at it, at any really one sport, but I just enjoy being on the team, and I coach them. I have a mentorship. I have an open door policy. They know that no matter what, they could come in and talk to me pretty much anytime they want. And that takes time. A lot of times I sit and I wonder, what can I do in order to make our place a better place to work. I worry about some of them. They know if they have one phone call to make, they can call me. I may get upset, but if they call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, my wife will tell you, I'm gonna answer the phone. And trust me, it's happened. There's this thing called life, and we make some mistakes sometimes, but like I have some of the best people in the world that truly care about our company and our vision, and so I'm really fortunate. I've got some of the best people in the world.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I love it. I've gotten some of those 2 a.m. phone calls myself.
I think at one point I was the person making that call. Probably you too, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. The first thing I want to do is smack them, and the second thing is I realized that was me on the other end of the line not too long ago. So I think I see your wife. Is that your wife back there rocking out with you?
Let's see. Kelly is the one over to the right. She's a little camera shy. Hold on. Let me see if I can get her at least say hi. Hey, Kelly, stick your head over here a little bit. Let's see if I can get her to say hi. She's a little shy. Stick your head over here. She's really chipper at 5:30 in the morning. Can you say hi to everyone? Yeah.
Well, hello there, Kelly. How are you?
He said, "How are you?" Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, man. That is so cool. You guys are up working out together, man. I love it.
It took me 2 years to talk to her, Glenn. You would think that car person would be a closer, but it took me a couple of years to convince her to come down here, because the perception is that we're these beasts that do CrossFit. It's not the case at all. You do what you're comfortable with, and it's a great community. I met my wife when I was 17 and she was 15, and off and on, we've been married for 15 years, and I dated 10 years before that. So she's been a big part of my life.
So awesome, man. Now, so when you guys met when you were 15 and 17, now you grew up in a really poor, impoverished, uneducated area, right? Based on the statistics.
Well, based on the statistics, but I was really fortunate to grow up in McDowell County, West Virginia. If you ask me today, I've lived in Virginia for probably 25 years or so. But if you ask me today, I'm a West Virginian, and people that know me know that. The people there are some of the salt of the earth people. I learned a lot of life lessons. It is a coal industry, and it's the coal industry is not doing as well. What I would like to do one day is return back to that that great state and that great county and make a difference in that county, because they do need help. But I wouldn't trade that, man, for anything. My dad worked 5 jobs in the summer, took me with him. He and my mom worked their tails off, and that's where I taught my work ethic from. And there's pictures of me in the coal tipple where all you can see is the whites of my eyes. And those experiences, man, that's one thing about it is, no one will ever outwork me, because where I came from, it's just we're hard working, honest people that our word means something and our handshake means something. So I'm always going to be proud to being from Southern West Virginia.
Right on, man. I love that. Word means something, handshake means something, and a hard-working attitude. That's what I love. I guess my only question would be, how does a guy come out of the coal mine and end up wearing a cotton candy suit at some of these events?
Man, I tell you what, they call that suit the cotton candy, at work. Trust me, they enjoy. I'm trying to get a little bit of style. I'm a pretty plain guy, trying to get a little bit of style. But trust me, when I wear it, they because where we're at, we just had our big giving away the farm sale. I know you noticed that on social media, which our team does a fantastic job with social media. We're dressed up as farmers, so to show up, in the pink and baby blue, matching your daughter's braces, that was a big change for them. They kind of were looking at me like, what are you doing, boss? But anyway.
Well, how did you make that transition? What got you, kind of typically in most people's lives, we cycle, right? We watch what our parents do. We kind of repeat, factory worker parents, factory worker kids. That's fairly common. It's fairly common for people to run through those cycles. But it sounds like, or well, not sounds like, clearly you stepped out kind of that and went a little bit of a different direction to where now you're still the hardest working guy in the room. You're just doing things a little bit differently. How'd that transition happen for you?
Well, my parents always pushed my brother and I that if you ever do anything, do it to the best of your ability. And even if you're not in the career that you may want to be in one day, still, when you show up and you agree to do a job, you do it to the best of your ability with a positive attitude, and you bring more value than just your paycheck. And if you do that, you won't be denied opportunities. So I started taking college courses when I was in 10th grade. I've worked since I was 15 years old. I graduated with my 4-year degree in 2.5 years from Bluefield State College, which is a small school back in Bluefield, West Virginia. Went to Radford, got my master's degree in 1.5 years. So I finished 4 years worth of school, 6 years worth of school in 4. Went in the mortgage industry for a small amount of time, then got in the car industry and interviewed for my first job. And I told Huddy Hyman and Johnny Cates in Richmond, Virginia, that one day I would be a car dealer. And I'm a first generation car dealer, and they kind of laughed a little bit. Said, well, is your parents in the car industry? No, I'm from a holler in West Virginia. And they said, well, we're gonna see what you can do. Come on, let's see what you can do. And when Carter Myers gave me an opportunity to realize my dream and part of the dealership, which they do at their locations, man, once I got that opportunity, I've been waiting, and I remembered, I wasn't mad at them laughing at me. It inspired me. And
Right.
Mr. Cates came and visited me, and he said, Scott, you remember that time I laughed? I said, Mr. Cates, I do. And he said, you're laughing now, probably. I said, no, sir. I said, I appreciate everything you've done for me, sir. And if it wasn't for the opportunities you and other people gave me, I wouldn't be here today. So when you get those opportunities in life and you've wanted them your whole life, man, you're going to give it all you got.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's such an awesome story, man. Such an awesome story. I love how you continue to refer to the fact that all of your experiences, everything that you went through, those are things that we wouldn't change, right? They're things you would never change. They're part of who made you the man that you are today, that brought you to where you are today. I know that a lot of you guys out here in Rise and Grind land, a lot of you guys out here watching on Facebook, I know a lot of the time sometimes you dwell on some of the mistakes you make, or you live in experiences. We hold on to them for a little too long versus stepping on those, using those as stepping stones towards success. So I've always found when you can just keep climbing, right, Scott? When you just keep climbing, that's the way to the top. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Now, Scott, what we're doing right now is unheard of. Okay, just so you know, we got 2 GMs, which you're technically an owner, but the way your store is set up is very unique. But so technically, we're supposed to be competition, man. We're like supposed to be animals and just at each other's throats. We're not supposed to be lifting up and encouraging each other. Yet you're in the Rise and Grind group, in the Sales Hustlers group, and you've got your team members in the group, and we're learning from you guys and what you're doing, and you're learning from us. Things have changed quite a bit in this industry. How do you feel about all of that, and what do you think about all of that?
Well, I think Glenn, it's a change in mentality. The old school mentality was don't teach the employees what you know because it's job security. Hope for your competitors to fail. Now, granted, if we were in the same market, we would compete, respectfully compete. But I think it's changed. And I think part of the change has been your movement. Part of the change has been Sean Hayes' movement. We can root each other on. We can, share best practices and share ideas. We can learn and grow from each other. We can make this industry, a fantastic industry that we love so much, a better industry. We can improve and we can help. Why reinvent the wheel? So there is a movement. There is a change, and it's right here. I'm lifting people up. People are lifting me up every single day. That I feel like I know them really well, and I've never met them personally, but I know them through social media, and it's kind of strange, isn't it? You'll somebody will send you a friend request. They'll talk to you on social media, and you see them in public, and they kind of don't talk to you, and it's so the world's changing, and
Sure.
but it's changing for the better. And like I said, I'm really proud to be a part of both Rise and Grind, Sales Hustlers, and we're making a difference in people's lives. I mean, just look at the posts. Look at, I mean, how many members we've got. You know, how many members do we have now?
Almost 30,000.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna have a challenge for everybody, but I'm gonna save it to the very end. And I know, you know, we need to get this message out to more people. We need to make a bigger difference. There's what, 7 billion people on this planet, and we need to make it. We're making a difference, and we need to make a bigger difference. And I appreciate all the, you know, friendship you and that have provided me. And, you know, you call me anytime, I'm going to answer, and we can help each other out. And that's what the movement's all about. It's no longer wishing harm and failure on other people in the same industry. It's, you know, let's lift each other up. Let's help each other out. Let's make a difference. And, you know, together we can do a whole lot more.
Man, you are so on point as usual. The robot. I call him the robot every time, Scott Simons, because he's on point. He's consistent. He does it every single day. You can count on him. You can rely on him. And it's just so true. It's no longer hurt or harm or wish people to fail. That's no longer the key. That's no longer the system. The system nowadays is lift, encourage, and learn from each other. I absolutely love that. Now, we're getting ready to go into a takeaway. We're going to give Scott the mic, and we're going to let Scott take over. He's going to stand on the mountaintop and give us some awesome words of wisdom. Before we do that, if you haven't done it already, I need you to hit the share button. Everybody needs to start their Friday morning, July 13th.
I never know what day it is either.
I never knew. July 13th. Everybody needs to start July 13th with Scott Simons and the Rise and Grind. I'm telling you, hit share if you haven't done it already. And now I'm going to give Scott the stage. Scott, you're on the mountaintop, buddy. You've got 2 minutes to make an impact on this planet. 2 minutes to change someone's life, give them something practical that they can apply today, this week, this month into their life that's going to make a change. What do you got to say, my man?
Well, one thing that I would ask everybody to do, and it's kind of a strange exercise, but I promise it'll make a difference in your life. What I want you to do, and you're probably everybody's gonna say, "What the heck's he talking about?" I want you to sit down and visualize people are at your funeral when you're called to your final resting place. You know, I want you to visualize what the room's going to be like, what's going to be said. You know, what differences did you make? Who did you impact? What, you know, will you be remembered, and how will you be remembered? And I want you to actually sit down and write that obituary. What will that obituary say about you? And what you're going to do is you're going to live the rest of your life trying to live up to that person that you write that obituary about, how you want everybody to visualize you. And if you'll do that exercise, it'll make you really sit and evaluate what type of impact you've made in this world. Because at the end of the day, our legacy and what we've done is all we have. And the more people that you can impact, and the better we can leave this place than we found it, is the impact that I want to make. I want people to say, you know what, I knew Scott Simons, and, you know, he was tough as nails, and, you know, he wanted the best out of me, and he pushed me, but I know he cared about me, and I know he was there for me, and he was a family man, and he cared about his employees. What I'm going to challenge everybody is this. I love challenges. I'm going to challenge everybody to do this. Do that exercise, please. And if Glenn wants to follow back up on it, and you want to share with Glenn, you know, what your obituary looks like, I think it'd be a great exercise for everybody in this tribe to do. But what I truly want people to do, we've got almost 30,000 people in this group. I'm doing 100 burpees a day for 100 days, plus working out twice a day a lot of times. I want everybody to invite their friends to this page. My goal is to get these members up to 100,000. And I think we can do it in very short order. And I want everybody to use the hashtag Rise and Grind 100K. So just hashtag Rise and Grind 100K. And that's what I want everybody to use. And I want this message to get out to more people, because Glenn has changed my life, and he can change your life. And we can all lift each other up. So I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. You can always reach out to me. I'm there to help. I talked to quite a few people in this group, and you know, we lift each other up and share ideas. And I'm just proud to be a part of it. And I hope everybody has an excellent day, and thank you for tuning in.
Scott Simons, my man, how did I know? How did I know you would bring the fire like you always do? Dude, write your own obituary. I am going to do that today. I am going to write my own obituary today. And I'm gonna see what I can't wait for this exercise. My brain is already going like, okay, wait, would I be happy? Would I be happy if I died today with my obituary? I think I've done a couple good things, but what do I want that to say? I'm gonna write it today. I'm gonna post it tonight. I want all of you guys in the Rise and Grind group. I want you to write yours today if you have time, or write yours this weekend if you think about it. Let's write them. Let's post them. Let's share them. We'll share them in the group. We'll share them out, and we can encourage and lift each other up to become that person. That person that we want people, that the things that we want people to say about us once we pass, because like Scott said, it's all about the legacy. Super, super strong. And I love the challenge, bro. I love the challenge. Rise and Grind, hashtag Rise and Grind 100K. That's what I'm talking about. Get your friends in here. Get your family members in here. Get everybody here. Love to continue to make a massive impact on this planet. Scott, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I absolutely love you. You are truly an amazing human being, man. You are an amazing
Thank you, Glenn.
like
thank you, sir.
Made by the God of the universe, dude. How cool is that? And everything that you're doing is making an impact on this planet. It's clearly making an impact on your staff. It's clearly making an impact on your family. You've made an impact on me and my life. And I truly, man, I absolutely love you for it.
Love you, bro.
All right. So you have an incredible day today. You guys out there in Facebook land have an incredible day today. And we'll see you Monday morning as we hashtag Rise and Grind.